In this episode of The Tripod.
What if my older sister, Mark O'Brien, makes it home before I do?
Welcome to The Tripod.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 45 of The Tripod. My name is Kevin Hennessy. How are you all getting on? And here we have...
Sean O'Riordan.
Shawnee!
And did you know?
Oh, can I guess?
Yeah, go on.
You are the most handsome host. Oh, no, sorry. The youngest host of The Tripod.
Wow. That is just...
That's a revelation.
It's like you read my mind.
That's brand new information, listeners. Brand new information.
Yeah, I am the youngest host of The Tripod. How is everyone?
Do you know what's cool about that, Sean? You will always be the youngest host of The Tripod.
Yes, and like even if we got an offer of like a phenomenal host to come into this podcast, and he or she was under the age of 27 at this current time, then they would not get in.
Correct, like Brian O'Donnell, Explore, Create, Capture.
Yeah, no,
he's too young.
No way.
Like phenomenal guy. He's too young.
Yeah, I will be forever the youngest of this podcast.
Yeah, any oldies want to come along? You know what I mean? That's fine because I can then not be the oldest.
Otherwise, it'll be cancelled if anyone younger came in, or if anyone older. I know, like it's better. See, I think everyone assumes, right? And like, Rhoda isn't here at the moment, okay? And we'll on a serious note, we'll discuss why. But Rhoda always feels like the oldest, like, doesn't he? Because he's like the one that keeps us under wraps. So I have no idea where I was now.
So that's my bad. I paused it. You were speaking about Ronan being not the oldest, but definitely.
Oh yeah, because he's always the one that like keeps us under wraps.
He is the daddy. Ronan is the daddy of the Tripod.
100%.
Let's call a spade here, and you know, that's what we're. It's kind of like I was saying to Liam Murphy the other day. It's like, you know, when you were in school and you got sent off on a message by your teacher. And you know, you'd get the message done, so you'd go and you'd deliver the message to Miss Nolan or whatever that was needed, but you'd take the long way, or you'd stop off at the shop or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you definitely wouldn't just go from A to B. You'd go from A to X with every other letter in between.
100%. And if you were stopped in the corridor like miles away from your classroom and you were asked by a teacher and like, oh, I'm on a job.
Like, and that was like carte blanche to just DOS for half an hour at least. You know what I mean? Like I don't think there was anything better in school, to be honest. I mean, maybe when the video player was rolled in back in the day.
Oh man, like students won't remember that, but my God, when that cart was rolled in with the telly.
Oh, stop.
I think actually I'm probably my generation probably the last to remember that.
What happens these days?
Like sure, like I mean, like where I teach, we just mirror our laptops onto a screen through like Apple TV.
No way.
Through MacBooks and stuff, yeah. Like in other schools, you just have projectors and you plug the laptop, all HDMI. Like that day is gone. Like man, the day. And especially in primary school, it was kind of gone, right? It was kind of gone when I got into secondary school, because as you all know, I'm the youngest host of the like. It's called a spade. Like, so I'm not that old, but in primary school, it used to be rolled in, and we had like really. I went to a really old primary school with like creaky doors and everything, and like the door would open, and like there was like a really high. This like the really high door saddle.
Huge.
The door saddle is like just so like you'd see a massive like bump like and the telly check and you'd be jumping
but
for
like
joy.
The stand. So I suppose maybe for like non-Irish listeners or younger listeners, they might not understand, right? So back in the day, in school, if there was ever a video being showed or film or whatever, it's either educational or something you had to learn, your telly and your video player would be rolled in on this big, huge wheeled stand. Like, I mean, huge.
Yeah.
It would take like two people to wheel it in. The moment you saw that, it was pure elation. Like, there was nothing better in school.
It's a simple, like, Do you know what I often think about? It saddens me in a way. Is like, are those little pleasures gone? Like those little joys,
100%.
because we have so many materialistic things now. You know, like that, like those little moments of happiness are gone by something so minute.
Oh, but like, I mean, like everyone would lose their shit. You know what I mean? It was yes,
absolutely,
because it was always like the teacher would never tell you. You know what I mean? It was never planned.
No.
And then it's just like,
especially if it was on a Friday.
Oh my God,
man! If it was on a Friday, oh my God! But even when we were in secondary school and the teacher was on a Friday there, and they said, "Oh, we will watch a movie or something."
Mr. O'Neill was the king for that in Cabinteely Community School. He was like, he'd come into the class, right? So let's say you had a double English on a Friday. He'd come in, be like, "Come here, I need to just fly out for a second." So he'd come into the class when it started, roll in the video, leave, and then come back at the end of the class.
Okay,
religiously.
Yeah, you wouldn't get away. Trust me, you wouldn't get away with that now as a teacher. You're a lot more accountable now as a teacher than you are in those days. But like, take it from an actual teacher speaking that, like, and if students are listening, I don't know, have we any student listeners?
We've Liam. Liam's a student.
Liam's a student, yeah.
Any other young folk, if you're under the age of 18 or still in school, let us know.
Still in secondary school, yeah. But like on that Friday evening, like when you're not feeling those classes, like sometimes teachers aren't feeling it either. So sometimes we enjoy the movie as much as we do. Not all the time. Not all the time. There is work to be done, but the odd time it's nice to sneak in a nice wind into the weekend there.
100%. But speaking of winding into things, I suppose we should probably wind into this episode of photography.
Yeah, just before we start, Kev,
yes.
will we just for the listeners who are wondering where Ronan is, and he's still on leave, we'll call it.
I killed him.
Yeah.
I finally snapped, lads.
Kevin finally snapped, and he just done away with Ronan.
He pushed me one step too far, and now he's gone.
No, on a serious note, unfortunately, Ronan's dad isn't well, and there are things that he's dealing with during the pandemic at the moment. Naturally enough, he's a wedding photographer, so he's trying to focus on his business and focus on his family, which we said at the very start of this, as in the birth of this podcast, that family comes first and life comes first, and when family calls, then this podcast is not a priority, and so that's where he is right now. So we all send our best to Ronan, and I know even a couple of listeners had texted me and Kevin and stuff when they saw Ronan's story last week. So that was very he was really heartwarmed by that, and thank you, and feel free to send him well wishes, and we hope to see him in the coming weeks, because if we Kevin keep getting let loose,
this could go off. This will not be a photography podcast.
Yeah,
in 3 weeks time this will be a music and football podcast if he's not back.
Music, football, and hot takes. It'll be a mixture.
Listen, he'll be back wrecking our heads in no time. Thankfully, because we do miss him. As
absolutely,
he is the daddy. Like, Sean, should we tell? So basically, without Ronan, right? Normally on a Saturday, we record this podcast on a Saturday now as we're recording, and normally by 8 o'clock we press the record button and we're done by 9. It's 20 past 10 at time of recording right now. And
we sat down at 8:30.
We sat down earlier. We sat down around 8:15.
Oh, jeez.
To try get going. And I'm going to just put that all down to the fact that Ronan isn't here.
Yeah, we had technical issues that
he
we
is the
couldn't figure
glue.
out.
He is the glue that binds us. But you know what? Sometimes you just don't need to be stuck, and let's let loose today, Shawnee. On today's episode, because he's not here, we're going to have a bit of fun. I'm going to play a game.
That's awful.
I know, I don't mean it like that, but we're going to just I'm going to be me without being judged for being me, which is nice. I'm going to play a game. I want Sean to play a game.
Oh, hang on a second now.
Oh, yeah, I didn't tell you about that, did I? Sorry about that.
A game.
I know we've been speaking for like 20 hours to try set this up. Bit of a game. It's grand. Look, don't be panicking, right? Sean is going to speak briefly about the new Nikon editing software, the free software. And then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends, we have the return of the S-Bend. Sean's S-Bend is back. It's been a while,
sir.
and it's been missed.
It has been missed.
Of course it's been missed, man. We absolutely adore the S-Bend. Right. So
And we don't just, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I suppose the listeners like the S-Bend too.
Absolutely. I think they do. I think they thoroughly enjoyed the Kev's Corner a couple of weeks back as well. So
I enjoyed that. Do you know that? I did. I don't even know where it came from. That just kind of...
They're the best ones, man.
Like,
Come from
I
the
obviously
heart.
knew what I was going to speak about, but then it just kept getting more bravehearty and passionate.
Yeah.
And I was like, whew, even listening back to it, I was just like, come on, Kev. I was proud of myself. Right.
Okay, so this we have a game. Okay.
We have a game. Sean, have you ever heard of a game called Madlibs?
Mad Lips?
Mad Libs.
Libs, no.
Mad Libs is a game. So first and foremost, it's a nice game. And it's basically, it's a story that you fill in the blanks, right? So it's very straightforward. Now, I have two short stories here. You get to choose A or B.
Oh, wow. Thanks for that. I'm going to go with A.
Okay, A. Right. So A is a short story called Nickelodeon, right?
Okay.
So now I probably have messed this up, but we'll see. Right, Shawnee, my friend, I'm going to ask you for a certain type of word. You're going to tell me, and then we're going to fill in, and I'm going to read the story. Okay.
Okay. Just putting this out there before we start this. I'm a woodworking graphics teacher, not an English teacher. Okay, so that's just a disclaimer.
Also, I haven't really thought about how we're going to do the reverse option of this, but we'll get to that in a second.
Oh, wow, of course you haven't. But that doesn't surprise
shut up,
me.
it's
would it?
Right, Sean, give us a number.
7. My favorite
7.
number.
Okay, a noun, please.
Boat.
Sorry?
Boat.
Boat, okay. A verb, please.
Running.
So a doing word, running. I only know that because love is a verb. Love is a doing word. An adjective, please, Sean.
Oh, that's a descripting word. It describes a noun, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So, happy.
Ah,
Is that right? Okay.
yeah. We'll get. Should look at my fit. A first name, please.
First name.
Yeah.
Sean.
Oh, you couldn't have gone for something like Fergal or something. No. An exclamation. I don't really know what that is, but like probably just like a phrase.
Wow.
Like, wow. Oh, nice. Okay. Another adjective, please.
This is like, what's that? Is it it's like a verb, please, Rachel.
Yes. Countdown. No, this is going to be great.
That's it.
This is going to be great.
And another.
Yeah. Give us another adjective there. Yeah.
Adjective. That's describing. This the descriptor.
Yeah. So something like running.
No. Oh,
something like happy. Sorry.
I can't have to give emotions. No. Colorful.
Ooh. Okay. Right. A type of container. I know what you're going to say here.
Type of container.
Yeah, like something you would contain something in, like a lunchbox.
A box.
Yeah, just say box. Go on. Okay, letter of the
Oh,
alphabet.
no, bag.
Bag. Oh, bag. Okay.
Kev, stop roaring to your microphone.
Sorry, I'm really excited here.
Yeah, it's clipping there. Come on, I've dated this.
Sorry. Okay, a bag. Okay, a letter of the alphabet.
S.
Oh, for God's sake.
People are going to think I'm so arrogant.
A person in the room. Just make up a person. Let's say Mark O'Brien. I'm going to take over from this one. It's Mark O'Brien. Mark O'Brien is in the room as we speak. How are you, Mark? Okay, another verb, please, Sean.
I wish he was here.
So do I.
Another verb.
Yeah, a doing word.
Cycling.
Okay. An article of clothing, plural.
Socks.
Socks.
I
Okay.
honestly have no idea where this is going.
Me neither. Give us a silly word, Sean. The most silliest word you can think of.
The silliest word I could think of.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to go with Jesus. I'm taking that. An adjective, please, Sean.
Oh, Jesus. An adjective. So describing a noun.
Yeah.
So, did I say quickly?
No, we'll go with
Okay.
quickly. Okay. A verb.
Do you know that I'm correct? Like, I do know that I'm correct, even like when I say like that quickly is an adjective.
I'm just trusting you. Like, it'd be grand. Right. Give us what did I say? Oh, hang on. Yeah. Okay, so a verb was next.
Throwing.
Ooh. Throwing. Okay. A part of the body.
Come
Come on.
Arm.
Okay. A vehicle.
A boat. Oh no, car. Sorry, car. I said boat already. Car.
Okay. And an animal, plural.
Wolves.
Ooh. Okay.
I'd like to be reincarnated as a wolf.
Would you? You'd be a great wolf. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a story by Sean O'Riordan called Nickelodeon. Only 7 minutes left till the school boat rings. And when it does, I am so out of here. It is impossible to run on algebra when I could be home watching shows like The Happy Thornberrys on Sean Tunes. Seriously, right now, the only thing standing between me and Wow Arnold is an ice colourful juice. An ice colourful juice bag is math. OMS. What if my older sister, Mark O'Brien, makes it home before I do? She's totally cycling the remote. And I'd rather eat my own socks. I'd rather eat my own socks than miss an episode of Ren and Jesus. Or the Quickly Beavers. Just need a second.
My older sister, Mark O'Brien.
And does she actually think she can just throw my fruit by the arm and keep me from watching Car Power? As if she may be bossy like Angelica from the Rug Wolves, but I've got Mom's number on speed dial.
Wow, that was lovely.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nickelodeon by Sean
That was a great story.
That was a
great. My chair is very squeaky.
We will print that story for people to read online.
Oh man,
now I'm not sure how we're going to do my one.
I wasn't expecting that.
I'm not sure how we're going to do my one. I am sure how we're going to do my one.
So,
okay, Shawnee.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
That was that. It's the unplanned stuff that works well sometimes.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, 100%. I'm nervous. I'm nervous and excited.
Okay,
what's my story called? First of all,
go. Hi, will you stop roaring into your microphone, or I'll actually pull you through the screen? Cause I can.
Sorry, if I stay here, is that better?
Yeah, that's better, Kev. Just
okay.
You can stay close to your mic, but you don't have to roar into it.
Okay, I'm calm.
Okay,
I'm calm for now.
Yeah. Relax yourself. Come on.
Okay.
So, Michael, right. You don't have a choice, obviously, because I've done the first one. So
correct.
Okay, so our first one, Kev, is an adjective.
Green.
Green. Okay, so let's try and write this down now. A noun.
Laptops. or laptop?
We're not going to top Mark O'Brien's a sister like Mark O'Brien. Another noun, please.
Fluffy socks.
That's two.
Fluffy
socks.
Fluffy sock. I'm
No,
going with
that's an adverb because you're
Fine.
that's an adjective. You're describing a noun. You're describing a sock. It's fluffy.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
So I need a noun, please, Kev.
A sock.
Okay, sock. Adjective, please, sir.
Dirty.
Dirty.
Yeah. Dirty.
Verb.
Squirting.
Squirting.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Part of the body. Careful now.
Toenail.
Toenail. A plural noun, please, Kev.
Cats.
Cats. A place.
Limerick City.
Next city. See, I thought a place was actually technically a noun. A noun, please.
A watch.
Watch. A number.
634.
634. An adjective.
Greasy.
Greasy. Bear with us now, listeners. We're nearly there. This is going to be funny. A noun.
A noun. Smack. No, that's a doing word. Ronan. Ronan could be a noun, can't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ronan's a noun.
Yeah. Adjective.
Confused. Is that an adjective?
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah. All right. Sure. Look.
I have no idea. We'll take it. A verb.
Sweating.
Sweating. And finally, a noun, please.
Paper.
Paper. Okay. So, here we go. Your story, Kevin Hennessy, right now. Whether chipping away at a green statue or stitching a patchwork, laptops, crafting is always a labour of sock. But sometimes the most dirty part of producing art is deciding what to squirting next. Luckily, the internet can lend a helping toenail. There are plenty of mood boards and photo cats online to consult for inspiration. It doesn't matter if you're redesigning the Limerick City, painting and watch, or hosting a dinner party for 634. The internet will have plenty of greasy advice. And if you're feeling Ronan, you can create your own confused board and inspire dozens of followers with your sweating design. Oh no. With your sweating designs. The only challenge will be finding paper to complete them all.
That's a beautiful story. So inspirational.
If you're feeling Ronan.
If you're feeling Ronan. Oh.
Let's get the ball rolling.
Oh. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
That's a lovely story. It was a lovely story.
Those were two lovely stories. I want the listeners to know which one they preferred, which was their favorite.
Yes. Yeah, and we'll set a poll up on our social media.
Yeah, that was
throughout the week. Thanks for humoring us through that, folks. That was just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
You know, Ronan's not here. Not that we need Ronan, or we don't need Ronan to have fun, but you know, we can just decide to do whatever we want when he's not here.
He's going to kill us.
He's going to absolutely murder us. But after I'd say he'll enjoy that as well.
So if there's no episode next week, you'll know that he's done away with the tripod. I know.
Yes. But that's fine because myself and Sean will be back with Madlibs podcast. Right. So should we talk about photography then for a few minutes at least?
Yes, we shall.
Let's just touch on something photography related.
Or photography podcast.
Semantics. You recently, and by recently I mean over the last week or so, have had a play around with the new Nikon editing software.
Yeah. I downloaded onto my Mac and I had a play around. I think first and foremost, coming from someone who's very heavily invested in the Adobe suite, I found it tough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to learn a new software. And like I even found it tough when I was using what's the other editing software a lot of people use? Not Luminar.
GIMP?
No. There's another one that's more friendly for Fuji.
Capture One?
Capture One, that's it.
Yeah.
For Fuji files. And I remember using Capture One, I found it tough. So it's first things first, it's free. Okay, so that's a big plus. Especially if you're only getting
it's like the Switzerland flag.
Huh?
It's a big plus.
Oh, it's a big plus. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
That went completely on my head.
Hopefully our Swiss listeners got that one at least.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Wow. We actually have listeners in Switzerland, which is mad,
and
yeah.
like the most random places like Bahrain and there's that one place that we have one listener in
Maui, not Maui.
No, it's like the most random country. But we've one listener who listens to every episode, like religiously every single episode that we release. And if you are that listener, hello.
Yeah.
Thank
you for
tell your friends. Honestly, like if we could get 4 listeners, I need to remember what country that was from.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going off topic again.
Sorry.
It's a free software, so if you're only getting started in photography, you don't want to buy your software like you have to do with the Adobe subscription, then it's brilliant. Here you go. You have a free software. I found the user interface a bit cluttered, and obviously because it was new, I found it a bit confusing. But to be fair, I think I could have played around with it a bit more.
Yeah.
It has all your basic photo editing tools like your highlights and your shadows and white balance, etc.
Yeah.
It has a retouching brush, which I imagine it's something similar to the brush tool in Lightroom.
Okay.
Now, where I think it's a really standout software for photographers would be for like keywording and GPS tagging and things like that.
Really?
I'd imagine it's very powerful in that sense. Yeah. From what I saw, in terms of how you can catalog photos, and from what I read online, what I didn't like, and it was a big thing I didn't like. I'm not sure. I hold my hand up. I could have been doing this wrong, but I don't think I was.
I doubt it, Sean. I don't think you can do much wrong.
Thanks, Kev.
I'm being honest.
I do a lot wrong. Trust me, I do an awful lot wrong.
You have to get away with it because you're handsome and young.
Definitely young, anyway. In the previous Nikon software, my workflow, listeners, okay, and viewers and Kevin, my workflow is from Lightroom. So I'll start at the beginning. Okay, sorry. I gotta go.
Right, so you take a photograph, right? And then you
get
home.
Right, I get home. Yeah. I create a new folder on my SSD. So I'll call it, I don't know, Ballyhora 28 of the second 21. And I'll put all the raw files into that folder. I'll open up Lightroom. I'll import the raw files from that folder then. Okay. And I'll have a look at them in Lightroom. And what I do is I rate them. So I say 5-star, 3-star, or 1-star. Or else if I really think, if it's out of focus or if it's completely unusable, I'll press X. And what X does in Lightroom is it makes it a rejected photo. So you can go up to your photo, then tab, and just say delete rejected photos. So that's a really quick way if you want to kind of sort your images after a shoot, right? I'll have a look at my images. I might do some basic adjustments on them in Lightroom. But generally, I'll just right-click, edit in Adobe Photoshop. What Lightroom does is it exports a TIFF file of that image into Photoshop. Okay, so a TIFF file is still has all the data in raw file, but it's just a smaller file, right? And that goes into Photoshop Whereas with the Nikon software, it exports the original RAW. So it's exporting like a NEF file for Nikon, Fuji or RAF files, I think. Not sure what Canon files are or Sony, but you get what I'm saying, the original format RAW file. And Photoshop can't read them without opening up Adobe Camera Raw. So what Adobe Camera Raw and Nikon are their RAW converters, in a simple term, okay? Both those softwares are RAW converters. They convert a RAW image into a usable photo that you can edit in like Photoshop and stuff, and Lightroom is the same, okay? So the fact that the Nikon software does that, it makes it redundant, because like you have to open Adobe Camera Raw then anyway, and then from Adobe Camera Raw go into Photoshop. So I found that a bit cumbersome, in
Great word.
Cumbersome, yeah.
It's beautiful.
In terms of a workflow. But as I said, I'm still playing around with it, I'm still getting to know it. Would I switch to it now? No, absolutely not. Obviously, not a hope. And I think I could be speaking for the vast majority of our listeners that I think most of us, I would say 90% of our listeners use the Adobe suite and are very happy with it.
Absolutely.
I have tried. Do you ever go online? Right? I was especially trying this when I had a Fuji, because Fuji RAW files, just Lightroom sometimes muddled up the details, and there was like worming and artifacts were being created and stuff. But there's like RAW converters like DxO, Photolab, Lightroom, Capture One, etc. And like they compare all the photo editor or the RAW converters of these softwares. You know, what I did notice was the Nikon was a lot more partial to the greens than Adobe Camera Raw. So the Adobe Camera Raw brought out much more natural color, I thought, from the RAW file.
Really?
Yeah, that was one observation that I made. And I actually, funnily enough, I tested it out on a landscape photo, and I also tested it out on a shot I took at a wedding there a couple of months ago. So just because I wanted to see what skin tones were like, do you know what I mean? And like it was really on when I imported the shot from the wedding that I could really see like the skin tones were off, and it was a bit kind of partial towards green. No, easily corrected, but I think as a RAW converter, you want to try and get it as accurate as possible, you know, because that's what it does. Like when a photo goes in through a RAW converter, it reads the profile and it sets the white balance and everything. Enjoy, it gets it as tidy as possible. So yeah, I mean, it's a free software. So if you currently don't have any editing software, I would encourage you to download it. It's free.
Because like
so
you'd have like photographers who are just starting out who could easily start with that. Because don't forget, like I started with Lightroom, you probably started with Lightroom, so that's just what you know, and like kind of what you start with is generally what you stick with as well, Like I started with Nikon as my camera, so I've stuck with Nikon. It's just kind of it's what you get used to and what you practice with and what you learn, you kind of stick with. So
funnily enough, I actually did start with Nikon's.
I know
NX.
Did you?
NX software, yeah.
No way.
And then for a Photoshop alternative, I used GIMP. That's what I was.
I tried to use GIMP.
GIMP's interface, like that's like when I was able to use GIMP and master GIMP, I was like, I can do. Photoshop will be a piece of cake.
Yeah.
Because GIMP is so difficult to get your head around.
So this was before I even knew what the crack was with anything, though. I downloaded GIMP and I was like, yeah, this be grand. I can edit. I can do stuff. And I was just like, nope. I would know, like literally, I could barely even get a file loaded onto it. Like,
spend hours watching tutorials.
Avoid. Not avoid. I mean, it's definitely a powerful tool and a very useful tool. And as a free option, it's quite good. But I would pay the money for Photoshop. Especially me now being a Photoshop expert. I would suggest it. Photoshop is great fun. Like
it's the Adobe suite, just the way like I love the way I can right click in Lightroom or edit in Photoshop. And then when I'm in Lightroom, when I'm in Photoshop and finished, Control and S, and it's automatically brought back into Lightroom.
Before you get back to Lightroom, it's there.
Oh, I love that.
It's
That's
beautiful.
Just so
And you've got both of them.
Sweet.
Because if you don't, because I'm obviously new to Photoshop still. So when
Yeah.
you go back into Lightroom, they're both there.
Oh, at
And
the
you're
edits,
like,
yeah.
oh
So
man,
there's
I
a
was
TIFF
like,
file and there's your
that
raw.
is beautiful.
It's like it's I'm sorry, no, but it's kind of like in a way like Apple, the way it's all seamlessly interconnected.
So I used to work in Vodafone, right? And when I worked in Vodafone, I despised Apple. Despised them. And I'm not sorry to say that, but there was only a reason, because people were insane when it came to Apple products.
Yeah.
Since I've started using Apple, it makes sense.
Oh man, just it's the way everything is so interconnected.
It's like you get a new phone, you put in a password. You don't need to do anything else. You just put in like 4 digits and then bang, everything is there.
Yeah, it's not even that. Like that's probably the same with Android in terms of Google backup. Like, but yeah, it's like it's with the accessories and stuff. Like you have AirPods and they connect automatically. If you have a MacBook or an iPad, you can airdrop stuff. Edit like I love airdropping images onto my iPad and messing around with them in Lightroom on the iPad with the pencil and stuff, and just we're getting off topic again, but it's
relevant.
The beauty.
It's all relevant.
It is relevant because it's about a seamless transition, which Adobe software is. But yeah, the new Nikon, it's a lot faster than previous Nikon software, so it renders images a lot faster. Okay, so that's a good thing. Also, there's a little video editor in there, which I thought was a nice little feature.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be that powerful. Like you'd need a fairly beefy machine if you're going doing 4K editing, because it can't create proxies as far as I know. Could be wrong, but I don't think it can.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, okay, I was getting onto that.
We'll cover that on another episode. Listeners, obviously we're a photography podcast, yeah, but we haven't really had like an in-depth video editing episode.
No, we haven't. We've touched on video before, but not
very briefly. I would love a video editing episode. So listeners, if you're interested as well, let us know, because I think I'm never going to take on video. That's a whole different beast. But I'm sure there are people out there who are brave enough to do it.
Absolutely. I love video. Video is just so satisfying, telling a story.
I just don't have I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It scares me.
If I can do it, I'm like when you watch other like people who are vlogging and stuff or creating videos on YouTube, which are really like they have like loads of passion and enthusiasm. I think, is it just the Irish? Like, are we just like not that good on camera? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we just are like, it's like our demeanor. Like, do you know?
Look, it could be, but I also just think like you've got the knowledge, the face. Clearly, you've got the arms, and you've got
no relevance whatsoever.
No, but your videos are fantastic. And I think it's something like if I had, I'd love to get into, but I know I never will. You know, there's a fella who I've recently kind of discovered. It was through TikTok a little while ago, and now on Instagram. We're kind of like Instagram mates, as in, you know, I post a shot, he's like, great shot, buddy, and then he posts something like, oh man, that's deadly, you know. Kodark_film. So not only is he a remarkably talented photographer and videographer, he is by far one of the funniest people I've ever encountered online. He's a Dublin lad, you know, so he's a dub, but just, oh man, all I can say is just go check him out. So CODARC_film, FILM. Okay. Connor is his name. He's just hilarious, but he's hilarious and skillful, which helps. You know, it's not just like he's using his humor to mask his lack of skill. He's really, really talented, but he is hilarious. So
I love people who are naturally like that, like naturally kind of gravitate towards something. It's something I considered when I went back making videos. Like, will I go down to James? I don't know if anyone knows James Popsies. He's a very funny guy on YouTube. He does he's a really really nice guy to like watch, and like, you know, he's really funny, like, and he's naturally he's got real dry humor, and it's very very fun to watch. He's a photographer. So it's like, will I go the opposite route, like, and I just kind of said, look, just be you, like.
That is the most important thing.
I don't pretend to be an expert at all, and I try to be as honest as possible. Like, I was funny the other day. I was editing, or I was in the woodland and I was vlogging and stuff, and I was talking. I had this one sentence where I was like, and like, yeah, the shape of the trees and it's balancing. And then I was like, I actually said this to camera, I was like, here's me talking like I actually know what I'm doing, like, you know what I mean? Where I just like, I just see a nice scene and like I take a photograph of it, and that's kind of, that's it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, obviously I have compositional knowledge and stuff, but like I'm not an expert, and like I will never pretend to be something that I'm not, you know. Which is because when people are like that, like when people are very like natural and just honest like that, and it's humbling to watch, and it's I think everyone can relate to that. So
big time. But yeah, go follow Connor. So Kodark _film. He's honestly Kodark. He's such a nice dude, and he is hilarious, and you will enjoy every single post that he posts. Like, he's generally does like reels, because I found him on TikTok a while ago, you know, and he generally does like reels and that kind of stuff. But he's just hilarity and talent all bundled into one, and you can't beat that.
Brilliant.
Yep. So final touches on the Nikon software, Sean. Kind of recommended. Like, would you recommend? Let's say me. So I'm like full on Lightroom. Have used Lightroom since the beginning. Like, is there any point in me trying it out? Do you think I could be persuaded? Like, look, I'm not looking to save 13 quid a month here. You know what I mean? Either, you know what I mean? It's not going to be like down to the money.
I mean, I can't decide whether someone should try it or not, because I don't know what they'd be using it for, like, or what their needs are in terms of photo editing software. So, from a totally neutral standpoint, I'd be like, just try it.
It's free.
It's free. But if you're like, you know, if you're already invested in Lightroom and Photoshop, I can't see you switching. I won't.
Yeah. So give it a bash, folks. It's free.
Give it a bash. See what
you
think.
Is always fantastic.
Yeah.
You might
just try it out. Try it out.
You might not, but look.
Yeah.
You'll lose.
Try out the video editor maybe and see if you want to. You know, but it's free, and it's a lot more powerful than previous Nikon softwares, which is always a plus, you know. So and you'll lose nothing by trying it. Thank you for that, Sean. No problem. Thank you. I'm enjoying this.
And now, ladies and gentlefolk, it is time for the return of the Mac. I mean, the S-Bend. Sean, we have an S-Bend again. What a time to be alive.
Yes, sir.
How controversial are you going today?
It's not controversial at all.
Give me controversy. Come on.
I'll give you some controversy next week. Okay.
Deal.
But this week is it's a new app that's I'd heard about before Christmas. I never really jumped on it. But it's called Clubhouse. So I'm sure a lot of our listeners have heard of it already. And it's an iPhone only app at the moment, and it's invite only. So let's say a user joins, they get like 2 or 3 invites maybe, and they can invite others to join. It's still in its beta.
No way.
It's still in its beta phase. So, and I'm going to try and explain the basic the concept of Clubhouse in as basic a way as possible. It's chat rooms. So you set up a profile, and there's thousands of chat rooms on every single topic, from beer to guitars to Formula 1 to photography to anything you can think of. There's a chat room. To Bitcoin.
You've just mentioned everything I love apart from Formula 1.
To Bitcoin, to cryptocurrency, anything you want to listen to, it's there. Now, the thing, right, that I love, that I really have enjoyed so far about Clubhouse is it's like a 24/7 podcast or a 24/7 radio station, because a lot of these rooms are open. So these chat rooms are open 24/7, and there's always people inside talking. And like, basically, when you enter a chat room, you're in the audience. Okay, like figuratively speaking, you're in the audience, right? And the moderators are on stage, but all you can see is people's little icons, like their profile pictures. Okay, so there's like a section, there's like a heading, speakers, and then you'll see a couple of speakers. Then there's like audience or listeners, I think, and then you'll see all the other people. And if you want to speak or come on stage, you raise your hand, and the moderator will let you up to speak. And then it's generally, there's kind of an unwritten rule that like it goes in order of the speakers, and you take your turn, right? But like, it's what I loved about it was that you're actually speaking to people.
So so when you say you're speaking, like, so I'm on the app, you're hosting this room, or you're a moderator of this room, but I'm a fan in this room, whatever you call it. If I want to speak, do I actually then speak to my phone?
Yeah.
And is it
Speak to your
voice
phone.
only, or is it video?
Voice only, no video. Voice
no
only.
way,
Yeah.
that's class.
So that's what I loved about it from the get-go, was that you're actually speaking to people instead of messaging or texting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a bit more personal. It was actually, it gave me a lovely boost to the night, because like I hadn't spoken to anyone all day in terms of verbally, like, except for texting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it was actually my first night on the app, and I went into a room, and it was actually a landscape photography room, and I was chatting to you could like put an image on your story, and then the people would go on, because your Instagram can be linked to it. They'd go on to your story, and you'd see the image, and you would chat about the story behind the photos. Like, I was in a room with like photographers from Germany were speaking about images. There was a photographer from America. She was chatting about her image. I got to speak about mine. It was really nice. And I went to another chat room then the other day with like, and it was like Michael Shaneblum was there, and there was one other massive landscape photographer. And I put up my hand and went up on stage, and I was just chatting to him. We were talking about telephoto lenses. Deadly. And it was really cool. And like they'd go on to, like, one of them went on to my profile and like, Sean, gee, we really love your work. And it's just nice that way. Like, you make these connections with other people, other photographers. That's nice though, because
like-minded people. Obviously, look,
that's it.
Like, that's how we're friends. And same with Ronan. Yeah. Like, obviously you all know I've known Ronan before this, but obviously we our passion and friendship developed because of this. But yeah, I mean, look, there's no denying that you definitely enjoy speaking to someone who has the same passion as you more. So that sounds brilliant. And I know a friend of the show, Rachel Talibar,
she's on it,
has been known to frequent a clubhouse or two.
So she has a room she's been on a room on Wednesday night or something, I think. So like, yeah, and like, that's the thing. It's like you're speaking alongside what we see are these celebrities, like. They're just regular people.
That's
just
class,
chatting.
and I'm all over that. I could get addicted to that.
And I'll get onto the cons in a minute, right? But you were the first man I thought of, because like, I'm introverted, but in fairness, no, I did go up on most stages that rooms I went into and chatted away when my internet connection allowed.
Oh, God.
Stupid thing. But you were the man I thought of. You're like, geez, Kevin would love this. Do you know what I mean?
That's my cup of tea right there, folks.
100%. Really interesting concept. Now, would it be the timing of this app is perfect, like in the middle of a global pandemic, when everyone is at home. So like, would it be as popular when people weren't at home, we could all travel again? I don't know. Like, come the summertime, can I see myself stuck in Clubhouse? No. But I mean, this is the beauty of it. Like, you can join a room and just listen. You don't have to go up on stage, you just listen. So like, nice. I put it on the other day going for a run. I entered a room on cryptocurrency, stuck my phone in my my running fucking belt I have thing there that goes around my waist, AirPods in, ran, and just listening to people talk about cryptocurrency. It was like a podcast. Do you know what I mean? So
that's so cool.
It's really, really cool.
Can we start our own room?
Absolutely. This is it. This is what I'm getting to. Like,
sorry,
we could have it
again. I'm so excited.
Yeah, you're okay. You're okay. You're excited. You could set up like a tripod. No, I'm not sure. See, the way it works is you have to set up a club, and then within the club you can set up rooms. Okay. Now, it can be hard enough to get a club set up, I think, because of it's still in its beta phase.
Yes.
But what you could just do is you could just host a room, any room you want, and just call it Tripod Podcast. 100%. And like, you can invite people to join. So like, our listeners could come in and chat to us like live, like whenever they wanted, like whenever we're on it, obviously, or like. So I think it can be a really cool concept. So
that's really cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm selling it at the moment, and I think I'm going to sell it because, it is. I'm very impressed with it, and for me to say I'm impressed with yet another social media app is a big thing. Do you know what I mean? But
see, what I like about the sound of it is it doesn't sound like it's actually when people say social media these days, you kind of think of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. But this actually sounds more social media than any of those because there's actually a social aspect to it.
Exactly.
Like Twitter is a cesspill of mentalness. Let's call a spade a spade. Like it's if you go onto Twitter, you can find any sorts of mentalness whenever you want to. Instagram is Instagram. We all love to hate it and hate to love it. And Facebook is for keeping in touch with family and friends. That's
all Facebook is for. And
it's and your memories, Facebook memories,
and for that's it.
And you know, your auntie sharing a dog that's gone missing in Wisconsin 5 years ago.
Your auntie in America leaving you a message on your page that it was probably meant for your private messages.
That's Facebook to a T.
Yeah, that's Facebook.
You know?
But
this actually sounds like there's a proper social aspect to it. So
no, there's still, I can still see like people can still follow you. You follow people. I do think there'd be like, how do I word this politically correct?
Don't just go for it, man.
The big names will be there as moderators and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And they'll be kind of setting up rooms, and it'll kind of be very much that scene. But I love the fact that you can talk to people live. I gave Vinny White one of my invites, and I gave the other one to Dermot Saunton, and Vinny jumped in a room there.
All right, Sean, nice one, mate.
I put it on my story, and you didn't. So
sorry.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's okay.
If anyone has an invite out there, folks, anyone out there has an invite.
The cons of Clubhouse.
Go on.
It's time consuming if you don't use it in conjunction with your everyday tasks.
You got to be like invested into it, like.
Yes. So so like I think if you want to really get the most out of it, you can be a speaker and stuff and chat to people. But that's if you're kind of listening to something that you're really, really passionate about. So like photography for me, like, so if I was in a photography room, majority of the time I'd put up my hand because I want to come up on stage and chat to people and give my input. For passively listening, I love it. Throw on cryptocurrency there, go into another room on F1 or another room on, like, I was in a fitness room the other day, like they're chatting about like nutrition and stuff. Again, I was working from home while I had that on, just listening to it. So that was kind of interesting. But it would be time consuming.
Once you're in, you're in. It doesn't matter. Like, so let's say you got your invite, but obviously it was probably from a photographer,
John Keane, So John, thank you, John, for inviting me.
Once you're in the app, you can do whatever. Like you're just in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So that's one con. I think it could be time consuming. Like you get hooked on it. Like my phone has been hopping there all night saying like, this person is chatting in this room, and you kind of just, it pings you. Like people can ping you into a room then, like, and like invite you. So that's kind of the only kind of, I suppose that's the only kind I can see, is that it is time consuming. Do you know what I mean? And other than that, I mean, it seems like an interesting concept for photographer. I think it would be brilliant if our own listeners could come on and chat to us in a chat room.
100%.
And like,
man.
this, there's nothing scripted, like, so like just literally, and sometimes there's awkward silence where people don't chime in and talk. Do you know what I mean? But I think it would be fantastic for our listeners to chat away to us live.
Because our listeners are deadly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Honestly, like, we don't say it enough, by the way. We do really appreciate you all. You're all fantastic. Like, I mean, the Facebook community page is amazing. The engagement on the Instagram with tagging your photos, with the tripod and engaging in our posts, like, yous are class. So we appreciate that a lot.
Absolutely.
And just keep being yourselves. So if we can somehow sort out a Clubhouse, I have no doubt in my mind it would be, as Ronan would say, lit. He's a bit cooler than we are.
I mean, it's a shame it's iPhone only at the moment, so that might limit a lot of people, but look, we'll stick a pin in it, keep an eye on it. I'll be keeping an eye on how it kind of develops over the coming weeks, and see. I'll have a more developed opinion on it, but for now, I'm impressed. Yeah,
brilliant.
I'm impressed.
That is good. That is good to hear. As I said, I've heard nothing but good things as well. I didn't really know what it was. I just heard a lot of people talking about Clubhouse and a lot of photographers as well, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
I just hope it stays, or hope it like remains like a safe haven for photographers and not, a place where it can get it. Yeah, we just want it just
toxicity.
Like, just want it to be nice.
Yeah,
I know that's really naive of me, like, but sure, that's me in a nutshell,
Well, like they have trolls in place, like you can, I think, like moderators can kick people from rooms.
Brilliant.
You can report speakers. You can do all those kind of things. Do you know what I mean? So,
class.
I think you could probably even set rooms just to be invite only. You can ping people. So, look,
I don't mind strangers as long as they're nice strangers. You know what I mean? So
that's the funny thing, man. I was chatting, like it's so random. Like I was talking to a guy from the Bronx in New York.
No way.
The other day about his meals, like, and what he eats and like stuff, what he's training for, like so random. Like, do you know what I mean? In a room full of like 60 people, like
that is amazing. Oh, can you go off for like little sneaky side chats and all?
No.
All right, that's
is it
better.
like we were a part of the speakers, like, but like none of them could understand my accent. I speak I had to speak really.
Do you have a different voice? A Clubhouse voice? Give it to us.
So when I'm talking about photography, it's kind of like this subject that really I'm passionate about, but I don't understand that well, That's my Clubhouse voice.
Nice. I like
it.
It's
that.
I like it a lot.
I just speak slower, and I have to speak slower because, I mean, if I didn't, they'd probably kick me from the room. They wouldn't have
100%.
So,
Shawnee, Yellowflower, thank you for that.
No problem.
And whilst we're on the thanks, thank you for this episode.
Thank you very much.
It was lovely. The Madlibs.
The sister Mark O'Brien.
Sister Mark O'Brien. Like if that's not his new name on Instagram by the end of the week.
Oh wow.
I don't know what that was. I enjoyed that. I kind of needed that laugh, to be honest.
Yeah, that was fun.
I hope you all enjoyed it too. I got the idea. There's a fella called Joe Santiago or Santagato on YouTube, like years ago. He used to do those, and I used to just watch them. When you were feeling a bit pants,
really,
you just watch him and his mate, and but they'd have a full glass of water in their mouth when they were doing it. Sure,
so
by
the
end of it,
spitting out
water
the water
everywhere, literally everywhere. And it just came into my head. I don't even know why it came into my head today. Like, this would be a bit of crack. So I hope you enjoyed that. Really enjoyed the chat about the Nikon software. If you do download it, let us know. Be interested to hear your feedback on that, particularly if you're not, heavily invested or heavily involved in the Adobe suite, because, if you're not like romantically involved in that, it could be a perfect substitute for it, And then Clubhouse. If we do get our own Clubhouse, we will, of course, invite as many of you as we can.
Absolutely.
And we know it will be the loveliest house in that club. That was horribly cheesy.
Horrendous. I'm sorry. Brutal. That was.
I am what I am.
Just wrap this up.
As Marcus Mumford would say, ain't no sham. I am what I am. Look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for listening. As always, I've been Kevin. He's been Sean. Ronan sends his love. And once again, Ronan, we love you, buddy. Look, keep creating, keep safe. And if you have any questions or any feedback, let us know. See you later and see you next Tuesday.
All the best.